Happy Tuesday, buddy. There you are again. Never fails. Well, I was inspired today. I saw my friend Tiffany wears t-shirts talking on the stream, and again, she inspired me to talk the other day to, which inspired me to talk to someone else, but they never made it to the show. It's okay though. The other person, my other friend, who I was hoping would show up, is not not big on talking on online or anything else. I mean, very shy person, so I understand why. Um, so it's not. I'm not gonna talk for too much. Um, I just she talked about something specific, and so I figured I give an answer to the question she had. Now, um, before you go about changing the channel because the subject matter might be something that you or a lot of people on YouTube don't like discussing. I'd say keep an open mind uh, because I've never been someone who likes to argue these types of issues, like in the sense of one side on another side, because I don't think there is there is a side per se. Uh, I think it's a matter of your own individual thoughts, your own individual beliefs. So, who can say who's right or wrong on what you believe in, right? Uh, you can't. At least I don't. I don't think so. I don't think you can uh, tell somebody they're right or wrong in the way they feel or see things. You can't speak for any individual's experiences. Hello, sir. So, when I talk about this, or when I say this, I don't speak for anybody else but myself. My opinion is my opinion on this. I'm malleable. I'm subject to change. So if anything I say now may not be my thoughts later, well, you're welcome, sir. I'm glad you're here. Uh, I know that this is how I feel at this moment. Anyways, she came on her live, and by the way, I should tag her channel, and I probably will, unless one of my mods makes it here. Uh, Tiffany, yes, times two, sir. uh, I like to say, Tiffany's, and as well as you should, as well as you should, as well as everybody else should. Thank you for being here. I am very distracted by chats. That's my I kind of do that. I hate to think what happens if I ever do get enough people in here where the chats are rolling really big. Probably lose my mind. Anyways, yeah. So Tiffany has a channel. Tiffany wears t-shirts, and she's been here before. We've had I've had her here as a guest, and she's been here as a visitor, as a chatter. Um, And so I saw her live today, and she usually does lives where she walks and does a bunch of stuff. Now, according to her, she calls it boring. I say interests are interests. Some interests are boring to other people because they're not interested in it. So, boring is subjectable to your interest, right? Anyways, she does lives where people go through walks. Thank you, Mirrors. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here, Mirrors. Um, Tiffany goes for walks in nature and stuff like that, and so she has discussions and conversations. And she says her default discussion is always death. And last time she had me inspired to talk about death and then near-death experiences. Now, I asked one of my friends, one of my more spiritual friends, to come on and talk about her experience because she had one of those light experiences. And I didn't want to talk about it then because I didn't want to share her experience. But like I said, she was very shy and she didn't want to show up. But she said she had the whole "I saw the light" thing and everything, and she also, which interesting enough, Tiffany brought it up. She said that when she was going towards it, she said that what she felt was behind her was what she thought was her vision of hell. And it's crazy because Tiffany brought that up today. How some people feel like they're in hell or they feel guilty about things, and so they feel like they're in their own personal hell, and so near-death experiences sometimes will adjust to that, I guess, or your visions or your dreams or whatever the case may be. Now I don't want to get into detail with that because, like I said, that's my friend's story. I wouldn't want to share her story uh, with an audience because it's very compelling. But I don't, like I said, I don't if unless she tells me that it's okay. I would have to find like know all the particulars. I don't want to share her story and then get it wrong. But it is harrowing, and I hope someday she comes and shares it. Anyways, um, the point that I'm trying to make here now, Tiffany goes into how she's I guess she got into a theological or one of these debates with somebody where she believes that there's a God. And the thing is that, like, I'm I've always been open to the idea, and so I'm not is my thing. Hi, Logan. I've seen you, man. You've been doing your rounds. You're going everywhere. But that's you, man. Hey, Logan, you probably are one of the nicest guys I've ever met, bro. Anyways, so in that instance, like I said, I have an open mind to the idea of God. Always have. That's my mind. But do I believe in it? No, and I can say that because I don't. But I don't say that with any kind of absolution or wanting it to be absolute. I hope that it's not. I hope that I'm not right in that instance. Um, but why do I say that? Because that idea, when you look at it on its own, uh, is a scary thought. And like she said, it is a sad feeling, you know. And when you see it as it stands in reality, which why I think that idea has always been open to us as a species, as a evolving organism. Uh, it's easier to deal with what the reality is around us when we think that there's something there to hold us, right? It's I guess you could say a coping mechanism, maybe, but I'm not I'm not throwing it all out there as that. I'm just saying that in my studies, old guy, what's up, buddy? It's nice to see you, bud. Glad you're here. Uh, in that capacity, I feel like maybe as a collective we all create that idea of God, or we create God in our own selves because we want it to be something that's there. But this is not what I'm here for. Um, I I think that throughout history, throughout our own evolution, throughout us as a species, we created God in our minds because we needed that. We needed that to understand the things around us. Therefore, when you say what created God, you say to yourself, well, what came before that? And what came before that? Right? So, to Tiffany, who in her walk decided to ask the question to someone else, by the way, the name escapes me. Um, when she asked him, can science explain the first sign, the antithesis of life, the the beginning, right? What created what? Chicken or the egg? That question. Well, I say to Tiffany, you're asking the wrong people. You're asking the wrong thing. The science, although people might think that, like, because they hear things like Scientology, or there are people who say, I believe in science. Science is not a belief. Science is not there to explain to you things. It's explained to you why things are there. No, it's more or less um, the explanation why things work. It can't explain to you something that it doesn't understand yet. Therefore, science is always going to tell you, I don't know. So you ask yourself that question, but whoever told you that they believe in science, they got it wrong. You can't believe in science like you do faith, like you do God. You can't. You just can't, because it doesn't have that. It doesn't share that kind of quality. You can use science as a formula. That's the best way to look at it. That's the best way to look at science. Don't look at science like a spiritual thing, because it's not. You look at science like a formula, so it's like a math equation. You get things that are in the world, and you verify them based on the things that you see in the world, the things that you can observe. Now you say, oh, well, then how do they predict things that happen in the future? How do they see things that happen in the past when they don't live in the past or live in the future? Well, that's pretty easy. Like I said, it's a formula. And I'm pretty sure you understand that, but I'm trying to get you to understand that there is no faith in science. Now, again, the words get muddled, right? If I say faith, I mean it in the sense that people have faith in God. People have faith in God, meaning that they understand these things, but they still suspend their disbelief in order to believe in God. It's crazy because you brought up the example about, being alone and watching a movie. When you watch a scary movie by yourself, even though you are by yourself, you may start feeling like you're not. Why? Because it's scary, right? You start thinking that there might be somebody looking around the corner, stuff like that. And you do this regardless of whether you're an adult or a child, right? Or excuse me, a child or an adult. I meant to say that the other way around. But being as a child, it's more. It has a little bit more real fear to it, because you don't understand things. As an adult, it becomes more fun because you do understand things, and that's the joy of those types of things. When you suspend your disbelief, you do it because you understand that that's what you're doing. Therefore, scary movies and things that go bump in the night become fun because you understand that there's nothing there, but it's fun to think that there might be something there. That's how I think that sometimes the feeling of God is for some people. You know, they suspend their disbelief for a second just to feel like there's something there to comfort them. Now, I don't mean that with any disrespect. I don't mean that by saying that some people don't truly believe all the time and that it's not in their heart. Yeah, that's definitely not what I mean. But I think some people do. I don't. Not when it comes to that. I feel it means too much to people for me to do that. That's why I'm honest. That's why I'm honest about how I feel in my heart about that. Logan, what are you doing down there? What are you doing? Lady Sky, hello. Thank you for joining us. So again, I say to Tiffany, if that guy is the guy who told you that, and again, I'm not. I'm by no means saying that he is incorrect in his belief. If that's what he believes, then that's what he believes. But if he's looking at science for what it is, he's believing the wrong thing because you can't have faith in science. You just can't. Science is not meant to be put on that scale. It's its own scale. It's an equation. It's telling you what things are not. So when you come to the scale of science with a question, you got to come with something that says this is this, and then when you put it in the equation of science, it'll tell you either it is or it isn't, depending on whether it's repeatable. And that's really what it is. If something is true and real to the earth or to the reality that we know, it can happen again. That's the thing, and that's the question. There it is. The thing that not exactly. Not exactly. If that's the conclusion you come to, after certain things. Listen, this is I'm not trying to be pseudo smart here. I'm going with what I know, and yeah, no, that would be no jet. That would be no. I'm actually probably the most sober I've been all day, all week, maybe all month. uh, no, and yeah, no, I'm not doing that. What's the name of that actor? The one from that show Empire. He was going crazy on all those different college words. I honestly think that they were bringing him up just to laugh at him. I'm not sure that they ever took him serious. Um, hey, Tiffany, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm actually talking about your live from earlier. I don't know if you wish to if you have time. I wouldn't mind if you wanted to panel. But before we did that, or before we had a discussion or a debate, depending on how you feel about it, uh, I just wanted to get my final thoughts out on what I was talking about here, and just to catch you up because this is only fair to you, Tiffany. Um, I've been talking about how you gave that question to that one guy, which I can't remember right now for the life of me, his name. Uh, you said, if can science explain the origin of life, or the first thing that happened to create life, and without knowing what this guy would say based upon what you said, I would say that the answer is no, and that's not either a good or a bad for the actual thought of faith or the belief in God. Uh, because, like I said, science is not it's not a religion. You can't believe in it. There's no belief in science. If he believes in it because he feels that's what he thinks that science is, I would say, well, that's how he feels about it. But no, that's not how science works. Science does not confirm those types of things because science would have to confirm some sort of event that happened first that made life happen. So that's the answer is going to be I don't know from science usually, typically. Sure. Hang on. Let me put it down. And the link that I'm putting down right now is going to be for Tiffany. Tiffany wears t-shirts, not for anybody else. I won't entertain anybody else. If you come on, you'll be in the backstage, and I will bring you up. It's fine if it's not her. I don't know. Hey Tiff, I see you. Could you give me a quick camera check? Waiting on Tiffany. There you are. No, wait a minute. Hang on. Before flip me off. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Why? Hello.
So you're talking about my what happens when you die shit because I talk about that all the time.
Well, I actually that was the other day. I did a live, and it's the one where I have, and just so we get that off of everybody's mind. I put a picture, or the thumbnail is actually a picture with my ex girlfriend from that I tell everybody that I had the breakup with. Uh, she is actually a devout Christian, devout like big time, and she had a near death experience that
Oh.
man, yeah, and I really don't want to share that story. I really don't want to share that story until she wants to share it. But she is so super duper duper shy. She does not want
Can I just
anything to do
ask
with it.
if it was a positive or a negative experience for her?
For her, it was a positive. For her, it
Oh,
was a
good.
positive.
Good.
Yeah, because and the thing is that so far on both lives that you talked about, it touched on a lot of things that she has touched on too, and I believe she's a subscriber now of yours, and
Oh. Well,
and
she's tell her to say hi if you talk to her because there's no need to be
I
shy at my
will.
place.
I will. I've actually told her many times not to be shy here. She has showed up here. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until about 2 months ago, or I think it was a month ago, that she told me that she's been watching my stuff and been here and all that stuff. But she doesn't like. I don't know. She's inherently shy. She's inherently shy. Like she's hard. She's one of those people that finds it hard to go ask the people at McDonald's for extra ketchup. You know what I mean?
Aw.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, she's just like inherently super duper shy, and it's funny because she is a translator for like a court and stuff like that. So I don't understand the logic in that, but that's the way she is. But yeah, so yeah, again, the last time, the last live that I did, it was about that. It was about the near death experiences and all that stuff. Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, Mugster, just lower it. I know you like seeing my face and stuff like that. So just lower the volume. It's okay. Then you can still see my weird glowing red face. It's fine. Um, uh, but yeah, so the first one, the first live that I did about the near death experience and stuff like that was about that. But this one is for the question that you begged for. And excuse me, I don't mean to say beg in the sense that you said it. I mean that the question that is begged when people think about science as a belief, right? When they say, explain, what the origin of life is, or whatever, where that first spark came from, or what is exactly that. And some people who are fervent and very vitriolic when it comes to their atheism will tell you that, oh well, it's either like that Big Bang or whatever. But the ones that are more informed will tell you that they don't know. But I say, like, to try to think of science as a belief is just is you're not we're talking about two different things. We're not talking about like uh, the faith you have in God, because the faith in God is something that you have blindly. You truly are blind to it. There is no explanation to it, and questioning it just is not good. But
So does
in
the Big Bang Theory, does that mean like spontaneous life? It just happens? Is that what the Big Bang
no,
is?
no. Again, science is explaining something, but it's not explaining something in the sense that people understand it. So the expansion of the expansion of time, or excuse me, of space, is what's considered the Big Bang. So
Okay,
it,
but
it,
so what where my question is this, and no one can answer it really. Where did the first life start? And if it was spontaneous, because I've heard some people say that, then you would think if it's spontaneous that we would see it again somewhere. But we've never seen spontaneous life just start. So no one can
ah,
really
but
answer
that
that.
yeah, but that's the question. When does second life start? Like this that's the other part that I was going to get to here, and I'm glad you're here for it. It's like, when does second life start? See, you would say, like, okay, the origin of life is unexplainable, and I would say, well, when did second life start for us to explain that part? Because
What do you
you would
mean
have to
second
find the
life?
end.
What does that mean, second life?
Okay, check it out. You're looking for the thing that started us, right? The thing that started this reality, this world, right?
Right, right.
Okay, okay. So when you look at that and you think about that, okay, so we started. Have we ended yet?
I don't know, have we? Is this just an echo of what we used to be? Don't screw with me, man. It's been a
Exactly.
long day.
Well, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I mean. You're asking for something that we may not know until there's a second shot at it. I
Oh,
mean,
we're never going to
until
know the answer. That's what sucks, is because we'll never be able to prove what the answer is to the beginning of the very first life, whether you believe in evolution or God or whatever you want to believe. I kind of believe in both, but um, I think,
you can, but like I said, I would say that, believing, like I said, believing in evolution and believing in God are two different types of beliefs.
but that
Because
doesn't mean you
you're
can't believe in both. I don't believe that. I don't
right,
believe you can't
right.
believe in both.
No, no, I'm giving you the reason why it's okay to believe in both, because I think that the belief in science is not the same as believing in God, because believing in God is believing in something that you're giving the suspension of belief. You're excuse me, your suspension of reality. You're taking out the thing in your mind that makes you logical, and it doesn't mean that
Right.
that's bad. It doesn't mean that that's not okay, because you do that. We do that as humans. We do that when we watch our favorite movies, when we watch scary movies that scare us. Like you said, when I'm watching a movie like, say,
Yeah, that's suspension
Jeepers.
of disbelief. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. When I watch Jeepers Creepers, right? I love Jeepers Creepers, and I think it's creepy and weird and funny. But when I'm watching it, I don't believe that there's some dude out there that could just, like, eat parts of you to become himself, right? Like, that's not real. But I think it's great as a concept, and so it's exactly that which we do with the belief of God. And is it bad? Is it good? I would say, if it helps you as a person, as an individual, to be better, then it's good and it's great, and you should do that. I don't have any bad feelings towards it. I do have bad feelings towards things that are cultish, right? And that just goes along with anything that looks like that. I mean, I can't. My religion, my religious belief origins come from a Jehovah's Witness background. Therefore, I'm very keen eyed on things that look cultish to me, and I don't like it when I see that in religion. But it doesn't mean that I think religion is bad, or I think that people who believe in God are bad, or that they have some sort of, or they don't bring any type of intelligence, or have any kind of intellect when it comes to their discussions.
I I don't know what to say to that because I believe in God. That does not mean that God is bad. Religion is a thing. Doesn't mean it's bad. But you know what is bad? People. People ruin it.
Yeah,
People ruin
yeah. Well,
religion. People ruin people's beliefs. So, you know, I I don't like people. That's that's my That's my basic thing I want to say. I don't like people because they ruin everything.
Hey,
You know,
Wingspan, I didn't
what
see you
makes
come in.
religion bad is like, when the men the people take control of other people, or they take advantage of people. But it's not God doing that, it's man. But man really does make God look bad when they do that, and that's unfortunate.
But I think that you're right in that aspect, and I think provably if we put that through a scientific scale, that would be provably correct.
Well, because I know a lot
And
of people, they say they're spiritual, they believe in God, but they're not religious. Because it seems like the word religion, has become this taboo word for a lot of people. It has a negative connotation to it because of what people
yeah,
have done.
yeah, and again, I always bring individualism when it comes to everything that includes groups, because individual groups have individual thoughts with individual feelings. And so even in a collective, like say a religion, a Christian belief, a Jewish belief, a Muslim belief, right? Those collectives in themselves have their own thoughts, and those are guided by certain men or certain women or whoever's the lead of that, right? And again, I feel like we do that a lot when we talk about, say, a religion or a person or whatever. We compare them to others, right? And usually that's why there's that negative connotation that comes from, say, somebody who believes in their Christian religion, right? When Christians have different, sects and all that, it's huge. So it's not I always feel like, like it sucks that people see things that way. But if we took the time to see things individually, not a single word can be offensive, or a single group or thought in that sense. Because if you look at it as an individual thing, then you know that Christians as a whole are not bad people. Christians, like as a whole, are not gonna be bad people. But there are individual sects and different, people inside of those religions that are gonna be bad, just like anything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because you are a part of a religion and you attend your church or whatever, that doesn't mean you're a good person. That doesn't absolve you of everything. Because if you're just going to go back out and still be a shithead, you're still not a good person. So it's definitely a case by case, study. But do you think that, I know we're like veering off topic here, but do you think that people that don't go to church are bad people?
No, no, I don't go to church. I don't think I'm bad. No, of course not. Of course not. I think I honestly, I think that the structure, even the structure of religion, if you think about it in the sense of God, and I have an open mind for the Christian God. Okay, like I'll tell people all the time, if there is the actual Christian God that people talk to me about when I talk to like real Christians, or excuse me, what I believe are Christians who are wholeheartedly practicing the beliefs of Christianity. It feels to me like that's the type of God that I want to believe in, right? And so I think to myself, if that is exactly what people say, like the loving God, the one that loves you no matter what, then in this journey that I'm in to try to figure out what spirituality truly is and how I can feel it inside of myself, he will understand, even if I never find it, even if I'm never there. Like he will understand it. So therefore, I say, no, you're not bad for not going. And if you don't want to live in the structure of religion, or be under those rules, because you feel like they're not binding towards your goodness, then like it's fine. I think that people who don't do that are good and good-hearted and can be good-natured.
What do you think about atheists that have near death experiences and they witness Jesus?
I don't. That's, like I said, that's an individual thing.
I know, but
Uh,
it happens. You can look these stories up on YouTube. That's what I do sometimes is I listen to these people's stories and it's crazy. I mean, and even though they're all kind of different because they're all
yeah.
individual people, they do seem to have very common ground in the wide view of things. Like a lot of people, when they go on the other side, they say they see Jesus. They say they see their loved one. I mean, it's all nothing's really out of the ordinary of what they say. It's all very common. Phoenix, shut up. Sorry, that's my bird. Um,
I
and I don't know. I just feel like there's something to it. There has to be something to it, and it cannot just be our brains dying. There has to be something to these near death experiences. Phoenix, I'm gonna strangle you.
Well, I can tell you, and I was trying to say it the other day on the near death experience one that I was doing, that I have never experienced any type of light, any type of situation where, like I felt like that's a beautiful bird. I've never experienced anything that would say, like there is something spiritual there that's going to guide me somewhere, or take me somewhere. But my near death experiences, or what I feel are near death experiences, have never been with a flat line. So therefore, I can't speak on people who've had those. Where
Right.
my my ex girlfriend had a flat line for a few minutes. That's as much as I'm going to say. And when she was brought back, it was a whole thing, right? And so I don't know. I can't. I don't know why any individual would see any individual thing. But I will say that in dreams that I've had, I can say that I've had experiences with people that I know have passed away in the past, and it never made sense to me, right? It never made sense to me how I had such a what I felt a real experience with somebody that I knew was passed away in my head, but it was in a dream. Uh, again, I think it's just an individual thing. I don't know exactly how our brains work in that sense. But then again, if you think about it, if you really want to break down that, if you want to break down things that happen in our brain and stuff, I mean, you're thinking about things that like the molecules and nerve shocks that create images in our minds, and in a very technical sense, are those molecules and things that we use build that image of that person in our brain. I think that in itself is a very crazy thing that happens in an organism, but it happens and it's real because we all experience it, and science can prove that it happens. So it's like it's crazy though. It's still something that's like, we can suspend our disbelief to certain things, but it's amazing that in our own brains work that way.
Well, yeah, and that's why it's a little concerning when you want to believe in the afterlife, right? And people have these near death experiences, but then science can also replicate things similar to what people see when they die, which is like a tunnel with a light at the end. They did a scientific experiment with G forces, and that's what people experienced as they passed out. And that's kind of the brain saying, like, hey, we're going to die. So is that what people are experiencing, or is there more to it? That's what I always question. And I know there is no answer to it, but that is like the things that keep me up at night.
Shut up, Logan.
And mirrors that, yeah, he's an African. He's a Congo African gray. And he's about 17 years old, and they live to be about 60 to 70 years.
Ah, wow, that's great. I want a pet that lives 60 to 70 years.
Are you sure about that? It's a big
Yes,
commitment.
I'm, dude. I just lost my cat not too long ago, my 18-year-old cat, and I swear to God, I still can't walk through the Friskies aisle.
Aw. Well,
Yeah,
let me
I
tell you
know.
something. There's a huge, huge difference between taking care of a cat and a bird. Birds are a lot of work. I don't recommend them,
Yeah.
honestly. He's I'm his third home, so I didn't even go out and buy a
Oh
baby.
wow.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like when you die, you have to make sure you have the place for them to go. Because they'll outlive you for the most part.
Wow, 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 wow. But yeah, yeah. Well, because I think I look at it in the sense that, like when you have like a pet like that, and I'll get over it. I'll get over it. It's fairly fresh. It's still not. It's still not like, like I still haven't had a year yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, when,
you get used to certain things, right? Even I don't, like even though people say like, oh, I gotta feed my dog or I gotta feed my cat or whatever, it just becomes the routine of life or whatever. So it's like there's certain things that like became the routine that like now I don't have that I just kind of like, oh, that there is a space of time that this was for cleaning the litter box. This was for for making sure he didn't have fleas and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. But anyways, don't want to get into that sad conversation.
I'm sorry. I,
No,
you
you're
know,
fine. You're fine.
I like whenever my pets pass away, I have them cremated, and I had a mastiff before these dogs. I had another mastiff, and he was about 200 pounds, and he was a little bit
Oof.
overweight. Well, when I picked up his urn, they had to put his ashes in two urns because he was so big.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How long did you
Yeah.
have him?
He was my big boy. He died. He was only 10. He was almost 11. But you have to
Oh,
realize that these dogs, they don't live long. These giant breeds, they don't live very
yeah.
long.
Yeah, I know. I have a brother who has kennels, and he has big dogs. Usually, the big dogs don't last too long. Uh,
Jet, I see that you pointed that out. Um, that is what every single one of those near death experiences say. They say that they're told they have to come back, and none of them want to because it's so much better over there. Like you just forget about all the bullshit here because it's so much better over there, and you don't want to come back. So that's one of the
yeah.
common threads. That's what I was talking about. That's one of the common things with near death experiences. A lot, everybody says that.
Well, my ex said that she remembers having the feeling like at one point, and the thing I don't know, and I don't know about how you feel about this, Jeb, but she felt like she was in a like a long period of time, like like it wasn't fast, it wasn't like oh that she felt like she was gone for a very long time. And she says that at one point she felt like I want to go back because she felt like she wanted a second chance to doing things. Like it was crazy, and I'm like, you had a chance to think of all of that. Like she's just like yeah. At one point, I felt like I wanted to take a chance because, like you said, remember? I don't know if you remember. You said that some people experience what they think is hell. She says that she felt like she was being guided towards something, like towards a light, but she felt something underneath her too, like something that was behind her that was bad, and she felt like maybe that she was closer to that than she was the light that was she's being guided towards. And then
Well, that
and
sounds like some signs she needs to take into consideration and do better because that's what it
but
sounds like.
that's what I remember when we talked about that, and I told her, like maybe that's like your own guilt, maybe that's like how you feel about yourself and stuff. And she did become a much more devout Christian after that. She By Christian I mean Catholic. She got into Catholicism. She became very Catholic. That's why I think she kind of stuck. She's also a dual citizen from Mexico and the United States. And before then, she wouldn't stay in her family's village, the where she came from. She wouldn't stay there that often. But after that, it was like she would stay there all the time. Like she wanted to be there more often than she did over here in the United States. Um, which I didn't mind, but man, I like hot showers.
Well, so did she like it over there because she missed the culture or family or something like that?
No,
Or why would she
well,
go?
yeah,
Why would
that
she want
that
that?
that always, of course, that's always a thing. That's always been a thing for her. She was very family motivated and stuff. Uh, but mostly it was the church because that's the church that she trusted. That was her community. Like it's like it's like Mirrors earlier had said. Like fuck religion, and then there's other people who say like religion causes more harm than it does good, right? She feels the same way, but the only like structured religion that she felt comfortable in was the one from that village. Well, of course, like it only has the one what do they call it in Catholics? Is pastor or no? It's Damn,
priest?
I don't know, bishop. I don't know the name. I don't know. I don't know his rank,
His
but
rank.
I just know that the guy right there, he's been there since she was a girl. He was like the understudy of the guy above him, and so he's still like the leader or the I guess the main person of that Catholic church. He's never had any controversies and stuff like that, and he's well known to be a very very good guy. And so she follows underneath that, and like I said, she became very. I mean, if it wasn't for how she feels about sex and stuff like that, she's told me that she's even thought of becoming a nun. But yeah, that's how much it got to her, that experience.
To the point that she wanted to be a nun? Wow.
Yeah, that she thought about it, but then she thought about like how she feels about her body and sex and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. I'm getting really deep. I'm sorry if you're hearing this now. I hope you're not turning red. If you're here, my bad. I'm only getting to the things that are specific to this conversation we're having, not anything else. Okay, so.
Oh, is that Guadalupe?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no, 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 no,
I'm new
no, no,
here. I
no,
don't know
no,
these people. I was just questioning it.
no, 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 no. Guadalupe is not shy. And Guadalupe is not my ex. Guadalupe is not. She is just a chatter who is
Gotcha.
my one of my mods, and she's very mean to me, but she's very nice too. No, Guadalupe is a very lovely person. She's a lovely person, by the way. Don't anybody think that because I say she scares the shit out of me, or that because I say that she kicks my ass, means that she does that to everybody. She is a very special person. She's nice, lovely. If she is your friend, she will be a good friend to you. So please don't listen to me when I say anything about her in that way. Just like don't listen to her when she gets on my ass about things, because like I think that's the kind of friendship we have. We kick each other in the nuts. But that's kind of like I think that's more or less a Hispanic thing. Friendships are full of
Oh,
fucking like beating each other up, and then when the day is done, we're really trying to heal each other. So Guadalupe is a very kind and special person to me, but she is not my ex-girlfriend at all. No.
okay. I'm sorry if I got you into shit. My bad.
No, 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 no. Don't worry, don't worry. I understand why you said it, and I understand why you would be curious about it. But no, no, she's, and by the way, never have had any type of intimate relationship or a relationship at all in that romantic one with her either. Just, just friends. We've always been just friends, and but she's one of the better friends that I've had on the internet. I would say one of my best friends on the internet. Hopefully, I hope that's something I can say. But yeah, I do have uh, good feelings for her. She's a nice person, and I hope one day she comes back over here. She's like I think that her and a couple other people are still on the fence about me. I don't know if that has to do with,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but that's
Sorry, guys.
controversy for
I'm new. I don't know. I
them,
just put
and
my
it,
foot in my mouth all the time, like all the time.
you're fine. You're fine. You know what? I'd rather have people that are curious about things like that. We can get these things out because I don't. I hate. You know, one thing I don't like. I don't like people to be thinking about things that have clear and open answers. You know what I mean? Where they don't have to be curious about them. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that is exactly the questions we're asking. We're asking these questions about not getting an answer to. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what we're talking about that's the discussion. But I'm just saying I don't like certain things. I feel like you should have open answers to, so like that you don't have like wandering thoughts.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Mechanics, we are the best of friends, but you don't just have to have one friend, sir. You don't have to. You don't just have one friend. Why do you have to have only one best friend? You know, I can have several best friends. Um, And yeah, look there. Here's the thing about for me as far as like friend, best friend, and all that's concerned. To me, that's just a way of saying you're closer to me. It's not a category that's left for like say, oh, you're number one, right? Like that's not how I see it. Yeah, when it comes to friends, acquaintances, like best friend and all that stuff or whatever. I could, you could be a friend for a long time, but you never become my best friend because we never were or never got that close. I feel like it depends on how close you are to me. The more you know of me, the more you understand of me, the more you have an understanding of me. Like is why I would consider you a best friend. And you could know me for a year and be that. Like you could just be that close. You could just understand me that much. So I don't see it as like oh, there's only one because that's my number one best friend. Because I do have best friends in real life that like I haven't talked to in years, which I slowly start to think that maybe they're not that anymore. Even though I consider them that at one point. They may not be that anymore because they don't know me anymore. It's been 15, 20 years since we last talked, and they may not know me like they did when they knew me when we were
Right.
considered best friends.
And that's a long time, and people do, they do change. Like, people don't change, but they grow. So by the time you've met, if you were to meet them again 15 years later, you're not even the same person you were back then. In fact, in 7 years, you will have replaced almost all of the cells in your body. So you are technically a brand new person.
We're the three best friends that anyone could ever have. What's that? What's that? Dang, I forget the name of that movie. The Hangover. The Hangover, right? Oh, that's good stuff. No, but I do like. Yeah, I feel like that's the way things are. Like sometimes you meet people at a certain stage in your life, and then time passes and things happen, and you're no longer that person. That's why like either you have falling outs or you grow closer. You go close. You grow closer to those people. Um,
Or you
I,
grew apart.
or you grow apart. Yeah, exactly. That's where I was getting with that. Yeah. Well, okay. Excuse me. Hey, who's this?
Hey, Randy.
The Hangover, right? Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's that. Well, we went off on a tangent, didn't we?
You can blame me. It's
It,
cool. I'll take it.
well, the focus was the origin, the origin of life, and whether science can explain it, and that my answer without knowing what that other guy's gonna answer. Because what was the name of that dude, by the way?
What? It,
The dude
no,
that.
science cannot answer it to this day.
No, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
definite no.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. That's what I. But that's what I was. That's what I was saying. Like like I think. Well, my thought to that question that you gave him was that if he answers it anything but no and or I don't know, he doesn't understand science as for what it is, and to look at science as something that's going to help you in your belief is not was what I was trying to retort to with the question that you gave him. But then again, like I said, I don't know. I don't understand what this guy's argument was towards you, and what my thought in this whole thing was is you can't put science and religion on the same the same uh, theological or belief system because they're not the same. Like one, I think one is more of a tool, and the other one is more of a it has more to do with how you feel about your situation and who you are as an individual. And I think science is really just a tool. It's really that's just what it is. It's not anything that you can believe or not believe in. It's like a hammer. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
I don't even know how I see it, but I'll tell you this much. I don't think that God is sitting on a cloud with a white robe. That's not my that's not how I envision it. The way I look at things, and this is my own personal belief and your miles may vary, okay? But I feel like evolution is real, but it was pushed by God. God is the one that made it happen because how the hell does nature know that this little animal has to grow its neck 6 feet up in the air in order to reach the leaves? Like how the fuck would it know that? Unless it was
Well, I, you
intelligent
know,
design, you know?
well, you get into some real like
I'm sorry, what? Is this too much? Is
you
this too deep?
what. Well, I don't know. It's that you get into some real creationist type of thoughts when you get there. But I'm not saying that that's what you believe in at all.
No, no, no. It's not creationism because they think that they just went boom and there was a giraffe. That's not how that happens.
That's not how that happened. But
And
you see, okay, okay, but you see, my thing is, we like to believe that like, but I don't know, I don't know why we add that perfection part, right? That part that like, oh, God's infallible. Now, I'm not trying to be blasphemous here, people. Understand, like I said, I completely respect how anybody sees God and their religion and how they feel about it. It's your belief, and I respect it. But I think that we like to push the traits that we want onto our thought of God. So when it comes to that, like and when we say things like, "Oh, God pushed evolution" or anything like that, would you say that when you see it that way, do you think God is infallible in the way He sees or do you think that it's a trial and error thing? Because honestly, I think that evolution shows us that everything is trial and error, right? Even up to this day, because when it comes to creating ourselves, when it comes to us making a baby, it's not one sperm for one egg, right? Even our own biological systems understand that we need to, make the odds harder. It's one egg for a
well,
million
yeah,
sperm.
the
So
vagina is a very dangerous place. So yeah, you're gonna kill a lot of soldiers. I get what you're saying. If it was perfect, then it would just be one sperm, one egg, right? You wouldn't need so many. So you're saying nature's just making sure.
I'm just saying that trial and error has taught nature how to survive. There's a reason why dinosaurs don't live on this earth anymore. There's a reason why
Now, see,
certain
that's the
species.
thing. I'm pretty sure creationism, they don't believe in dinosaurs at all,
Right,
right?
right, right. No, let's not make this about creationism versus creationism is just stupid.
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't believe in it either. But please don't ever say I do, because that's fucked up.
No, no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that because the thing is that when you said, like God pushes that, I was like, when you say things like that, like it may seem like that's what you're in. That's what I meant to say. I didn't mean that you did. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You don't have to apologize. Um, I'm just reading your chat now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and by the way, Mirrors is Australian. So you want to talk about somebody who was in nature? uh, yeah, man. The thing is for me, it's like I don't.
Oh,
Although
do you know that fox study they did with foxes? Do you know that story about how they saw changes in them? Do you know what I'm
no,
talking
go ahead,
about?
tell me. I have not heard that study.
Okay, so I don't know if it's in Russia or I don't know, somewhere on the other side of the planet. They are doing this study where they have all these foxes and they're raising them generation after generation and they're selectively breeding the aggression out of them. And what happens is when you breed the aggression out, the offspring began to start changing, like right in front of these people's eyes over years, Their ears would get floppy, their tails would get different, their they would become different colors, kind of like a dog. And so it's almost like, is that evolution that we're watching right there and then? Because I thought evolution took a long time. But you can see it in those foxes, and that's what's amazing to me that we could see that in our own lifetime.
Well, I think that it's exactly like technology.
and people don't see technology as an organism, right? They don't see it as something that like, oh, like that's something that evolves over time, but it really has. And it really, I really do think that you can, with outside influencers, speed up evolution in a sense. We've done it with plants, right? With corn and other things. I do think that you can speed it up in organisms. I think it can be pushed with outside influences. I think one of the things that does help evolution in a negative sense. Which, by the way, cancer is evolution backwards, right? Things that mutate through time can be things like cancer, and cancer does happen fast, and it does kill people fast. So yeah, I think that it's you can speed that up with outside influences. So I would say one of the fastest things that will help evolution is uh, nuclear sites.
I don't know if that's definitely mutation, not evolution.
Well, again, it's the mutations that are inherent that help us through time, right? So one mutation, although it may not help, it may just hurt, doesn't mean it hasn't been repeatable or it doesn't continue to happen. Uh, think about cancers that are in our bodies, right? That happen. They I would say we've evolved with those cancers, because it's like, even if you say, oh, we don't want them and they kill us or whatever, they still happen, and they're repeatable amongst humans. So yeah, I think that although you don't see them in that way, and although they're negative, cancer is a part of is an evolution towards us.
Yeah, I have no comment on that. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. It's fine. I have I've dug deep into the evolution stuff and everything, and so I that's the way I see it. I don't. Again, we tend to put good and bad into things depending on how they treat us, right? And sometimes I think in some things in nature you can't see them that way, because they're not doing things for us, or they're we're multi-celled organism. We're not just we like to see ourselves in that way, but we're not. I mean, we have a lot of individual cells. Those cells may want to do things on their own. We don't know. Uh, and then you see things like trees and stuff like that and everything, and you tend to want to believe that it's all balanced and it all comes together at one.
Do
But
you believe
I
in
would
stem cell? Do you believe in the use of stem cells?
I believe anything that could help us out as a species survive is good for us. And if stem cells will help the human race live longer and prosper, then I believe that that's a good thing.
You know where stem cells come from?
Yeah, they're usually the cells that are created from embryos when we're just starting off. Uh, doesn't necessarily mean we need to get them from embryos, but I heard that they have to kind of create embryos in order to create stem cells.
Yes, they have to create life in order to take their like blank cells, if you will, because you can turn those cells into anything at that time, right? But do you feel like
Yeah,
it's do you think it's moral?
well, that, like I said, the again, I stand to what I said earlier. It's if it helps the collective, uh,
So weird.
hey, that's the way I feel. Like sometimes, look, is it okay to kill a murderer? You know what I mean? Because he murdered, do we know if he's going to murder again? Like, is it okay to do that just because we know what he did already? It's easier to say, like once the life has been made, right? But like we don't know, and that's going to be always a difficult thing. But my thing is that if it helps more people than it hurts, then like it's gonna be in the good category for me. it's just the way I feel about it, because I think
Well, sure,
helping.
of course you're entitled to your opinion. No one's arguing you.
No, no, yeah, no, no, no. I'm just saying, when it comes to my opinion, that's what I'm letting you know where I'm at with that. Just so you understand. Not. It's not, like, oh wait, that's, and again, I'm malleable. I can be changed. I can shift. I can learn. As so I have. I've not had these thoughts or been this person my whole life. You can probably go back 5 years, and I probably would have answered this question differently.
Your person mirrors 420 says that they hate dreaming. Why is that? Have you ever lucid dreamed? Have you ever or dreamt? Have you ever been in a dream and you realize you're dreaming and then you can take control of it? It doesn't happen very often for me, but it has happened and it's pretty cool when it does.
I think I dream more lucid than I do anything else.
Really? That's awesome. I wish I had that more often. I don't usually get control like that.
Well, mainly the reason why I think that happens to me is because I'm constantly thinking, like, I don't know, I don't know how to turn my head off, and it's one of the reasons why I deal with anxiety too. So it either comes nice, and when it comes nice, I'll dream, but when it comes heavy and very, like, very stressful thinking, it turns into anxiety. So it's like it's good and bad, but, like, I just don't know how to turn off my brain ever. Like, my thoughts are consistently moving, consistently. Like, it's just like a treadmill, just never stops. And even when I want to, like, not think of things, I'm still thinking of things. And I'm someone that has to be distracted. I really do. Like, I have to be distracted, because I'll continue. If you give me a new thought, I'll keep thinking it and thinking it and thinking it till I wear it out. And I don't know where that wear out happens, but I know I know I can wear people out with it, because I
Yeah, no, I know what you mean because I am very much the same way, and my husband is not. And it's like, how do you not think of something? How do you just sit there and not be thinking? And he's like, I don't know, I just don't think of anything. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm incapable of it, and it sucks. Cause yeah, then it leads to anxiety. I bet a lot of people that suffer from anxiety probably know this feeling. It's probably common for them.
Well, yeah. Well, I have anxiety. I have anxiety. I get panic attacks. I've actually I've actually become very more susceptible to panic attacks in my older age. Believe it or not.
That
I
sucks.
don't understand. I don't understand why. Um, uh, I was a lot more, but then again, I had my mind has opened to, like, more lines of thought when I was younger. Like, my thought process would get stifled by assurances, I call them. Like walls that as a younger person you feel are securities that are always going to be there, right? But once you lose that security, once you lose that assurance that those things are there, you're just like, oh shit. Like, this doesn't end here. Like, these thoughts don't stop here. They're a lot more nuanced. There's a lot more to it. So I guess that's what it is. Maybe I'm just dealing with wider aspects of life, and I'm not ready for it, or not used to it. Not sure. But yeah, in my older age, I've been more susceptible to panic attacks. My first actual real panic attack happened when I was 35, and I've been dealing with them ever since.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know how they suck. And yeah, Walmart sucks too. Imagine having a panic attack at Walmart. Oh my god, I hate crowds. I hate crowds of people. I hate it so much. That's why I can't, you know what? I can't even go to concerts anymore. Not that that's a big deal for me, but I just hate it.
Oh no, I'm into the heavy metal, so, like, that actually helps a lot.
Well,
My
okay,
favorite
when
band
you
is
say
Stone
heavy
Heavy.
metal, what are you talking about? Like what
Into heavy
bands?
metal,
What,
like
like which kind?
Disturbed. Disturbed.
That's
That's
not
what I'm
heavy
saying.
metal. That's not
Okay,
heavy
it's not heavy
metal.
metal. It's not heavy metal. Fine. It's not like a Cannibal Corpse or anything. Okay,
Right.
but the reason why I like those types of bands is because you can actually go to a concert of theirs and let everything out and not come out with bruises. At one time I delved deep into heavy metal, but I realized like the deeper parts of heavy metal, like the death metal and all that stuff, is just that's just I'm not that. You know what I mean? I'm not that morbid. I'm not that crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm
But
morbid and crazy, but if I
well,
can't
there you
sing
go.
it, it's out, and I can't sing that shit. But yeah, morbid and crazy is okay. It's just, can you sing it or not?
I don't know. I just couldn't. I mean, I did because, like I said, when I started listening to heavier metal and stuff like that, it brings you to other people who listen to even heavier stuff, and then it brings you to people who are into the death metal, and then when you really start getting into that, it's like, ooh, like like you guys are cool. Don't get me wrong. I like you guys always fucking help me out when I'm having some weird times, but yeah, I just can't get this deep into it. Like the music is like the music has to be like something that I could like feel and understand. And yeah, when you're like I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I think maybe the heaviest thing I listen to, and it's only because I can also sing to it, but I also like it, is OTEP. Does anybody here know who OTEP is? It's like a heavier music.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
that's
nobody
the
here
heavy.
does.
That's the heaviest though, right? For
I
you.
think so for me because like when the harder and heavier you get, the harder you can't really sing to it. And I don't
Yeah,
scream,
right, right,
so I
right.
can't scream. So I don't see the point. That's why I really like. I don't want to like turn this into music, but Maria Brink from In This Moment. I love her voice because she can sing really beautifully, but she can scream with the best of them too.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And she's really hot, so that helps.
Oh my God, look at you! You're such a girl.
What do you mean? She is really hot. You guys look her up. She's pretty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you women. You women. You admire a girl, whatever. She's hot, whatever.
Okay, but like she totally is hot though.
Lisa B. Hey there,
Ooh, I like your
Lisa
picture.
B. Oh well, Lisa, you'll love Lisa B. She loves wolves, and she's out there in nature
Me
eating her gummy
too.
bears.
Lisa, I love wolves and I have tattoos of wolves. Like I want to get more, but they're expensive.
Tiffany considers herself a lone wolf. You know any lone wolves? Heh, heh.
Oh, I'm definitely a lone wolf. I don't know, Yuri, if you've seen it in my community, but I am definitely a lone wolf.
Which is wow, isn't that's a rare thing, right? Is that a thing? Wait a minute,
I have people that will like come to my aid, but on a daily basis, it's just me, man. Like, and I have sometimes I'm like taking on a bunch of people that hate me, but I got it. I'm a lone wolf. I don't need anyone's help.
shut the fuck up, Logan.
Abba.
Logan's so stupid. Parrots and wolves don't mix? Well, of course not, dude. Vanguard, what the hell? Well, there's a site for that's a site. I'm glad you're here. Happy to see you, buddy. Oh, mirrors. Thank you. I appreciate that, mirrors. Damn it, mirrors. You're a good dude. Yeah, Lisa's awesome. Lisa has a channel, and that's her channel right there. But Lisa's more into the drama stuff than you would be. But if you ever wanted to go and listen to an ornery, silly, but funny live stream, you gotta go to Lisa's. I die in there. I like when I'm not on my lives. I think she has become my number one favorite live to panel on and to be on because it is just so much fun right there. It's like we're laughing and having fun. It's great. It's great. I everybody that's in this room, I would please give her a shot. Give her channel a shot. Those lives are fun. Like they really are. They're truly fun.
Right on. I grabbed the link.
No, thank you, man. The last one was crazy, and believe it or not, I was super tired, but I wanted to be there. Like whenever I'm tired and I'm sleepy, and I'm falling asleep, and I still want to go on panel. That's how much. That's how much I'm having fun right there. If I'm ever like like half-ass asleep, but I still go on your panels because I love it. I love being there, and that is your spot is the best right now, Lisa. Seriously. Anyways,
All right, Yuri. Well, I'm gonna go. This I love paneling, but I don't usually panel for long because of my battery. So I want to save some of it for later. Thanks for having
no,
me up
you
here. It
got it.
was
No, it's okay.
interesting conversation.
Well, this was fun. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on and us having this, like not debate, more like a discussion, right? It's more
Yeah,
back and
no.
forth. I really like it. Hopefully we have more of these. And I am because for my own mental health and for my own growth, I'm really cutting YouTube down.
Good
That doesn't
idea.
mean that doesn't mean that I'm completely quitting or that I'm having a hiatus. I'm just limiting myself. So in order to do that, I didn't pay the StreamYard thing, and so I'm limiting myself to 20 hours for this month, and then we'll see what happens from there. If I get better feedback and people want me more on, then I'll pay and I'll move on and get more hours. If not, then I'll just keep it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was never trying to be a streamer, so I just use the free ones just to, shits and giggles every now and again. Because if I was a regular streamer, I think I'd go insane. But
I think
thank you.
I think I need to talk to the air. I think or else I look insane.
But you know what though? I do the YouTube live, and I just talk to myself when I walk the dogs, and I talk to chat. I do that more than anything nowadays. But yeah,
I would love
um,
I would love to
yeah.
do that, but I don't look good in workout clothes.
Well, I don't hardly show myself because I'm just walking them. All right, I might stick around in your chat. It's just the panel ticks my battery, so I'll be down there.
No, I'm about to end anyway, so you can either
Oh,
stay for
okay.
the ending or
Let's.
you could just go and make a difference.
I'm a bounce. Bye, people.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Okay, all right, guys. Well, that was that, and I appreciate everybody for showing up. I did go over my time. I said I would only do an hour, and I'm at 123. But that was because that was a good conversation, a fun conversation, and it was fun with all of you guys. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody for showing up. Uh, I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you guys. Again, still, I'm gonna be on my limited stream. Uh, this is only for this month. Feedback is important, guys. So if you guys like what I'm doing now, if you like what's going on, if you need more, if you need less, let me know. Feedback is very good for me right now. It's important. Uh, anything else that you guys need, like as far as like you guys want to talk to me about drama or personal things, don't be afraid to hit me up on my emails. I'm very open to the discussions and anything you guys have to say to me. I just prefer you guys do it, on an email or anything like that. If My Discord is still open, but I would prefer you guys email me right now. I'm not too into jumping in and out of Discord. I have to open the app and then put it in my phone in order to discuss things. So, like I said, if there's anything that you guys need from me as far as like conversation or you want answers about something, please, please, email me. Let me know what you want. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good day. I might be back on Friday, if not Thursday. I really don't want to do nothing this weekend, so it'll either be Friday or Thursday. But I'll see you guys then. Hope everybody has a great day.